Hello, this is Kent from KentLundeen.com. Hey, the big question is, will AI change SEO because people will start searching more on AI like ChatGPT or Google Gemini rather than searching on Google? And if that happens, what will happen to companies who are optimized well in Google and they've done a good job with SEO? Will they be able to still get found, and will it take away a lot of volume? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. So what I want to show you first, I thought would be very useful, is something that kind of occurred to me about me starting to search using ChatGPT. So if you look here, I need a better webcam for taking these videos. So I could search. I could go on Google and I could say webcams for under $50 or whatever. I could say something like that, and it's going to give me the shopping things. It's going to give me just different links to different things that rank pretty well, but it's just a bunch of links. But when I went to ChatGPT, I said I'm looking for a webcam that I could use to make YouTube videos. So I gave it more information. It says I would want the quality to be very good. I'd want to spend not more than $49. What product would you recommend? And it came up and gave me 5 good recommendations. They weren't just things that ranked well, they're good recommendations. And then I said, well, which one would you recommend for my business specifically? And it said, this one. Here's the one I recommend. It says, and then I realized that maybe that was a special, and if I can't get it for under $49, if that's a big deal, here's another good one. And I thought, well, that's very interesting, but what's going to happen if, a large percent, 20, 30, 40% of people start doing this type of search? I mean, it's totally different. Rather than just searching and getting links, it is actually giving me recommendations, helping me make a decision. By the way, when I say which one do you recommend, it also told me why I recommended it. And I could keep interfacing with it and saying, yeah, but I want this or I want that. You can change it this way. So I'm going to try something really quickly just with you watching. Right now, I'm in St. George, Utah, and I thought, what is the best Mexican restaurant in St. George, Utah? I just give it something like that, and rather than searching, once again, I do this, and it's going to come up and it's going to give me some recommendations, I believe. Let's see what happens. And here we go. It says St. George, Utah. It gives me a link. It gives me some numbers. It gives me maps, and it suggests some. And if I scroll over here, I think I can look at each one of them and see which is the best one. And scrolling sideways, it's giving me all these. And then I thought, well, what if I said, which is the most authentic? And it's going to give me something else. I think also a map again, but it suggests Angelica's. I just ate there. It was really good. It gives me, kind of is making the decision for me. That's quite a bit different than just regular SEO. I mean, it's very similar in some ways, but quite a bit different. I think that leads me to my next concern or next conclusion or next kind of hypothesis that I'm going to have to change my SEO a little bit, especially if I can affect how generative AI gathers its information, how it makes its decision. Can I affect that? If I can affect that, then I need to learn this new thing, which is called, and I think the right answer is going to be Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, which will be in addition to SEO, and we'll have a lot of similarities, but some things that are very different. You may have noticed when I did the Google search for my webcams under $50 that the AI didn't come up on the top here. And it probably doesn't for many product searches in Google. And so you may say, well, it's not that important. But it does come up in other situations. For instance, if you look here, the AI overview comes up when I ask for, can you use webcams for making YouTube videos? Which makes me think 2 things. One is, well, maybe this won't be an issue for Google's AI overview with much of the product searching and service searching that we would do. Or maybe it will be if ChatGPT starts to take market share from them. Maybe they will change and start to do more of what ChatGPT did and actually giving you better recommendations. Okay, that being said, I still think it's very important for SEO because much of what we do in SEO is building links or getting known, getting better authority or greater expertise. And in doing that, we still need to get found and get recommended. And so there's a good chance for the more informational, how-to, things like that. We will still want to optimize for generative engines the same way we used to just for search engines. So this may be a very important thing too. If you can notice here that it says, yes, you can use a webcam to make videos, and it gives me a bunch of information about it, very useful information. Or I can go and look at the different websites down here that also talk about it. So I think that's further reason to think that we're going to need to learn how to optimize for AI engines or generative engines in addition to optimizing for search engines. Some might say, well, then SEO is dead because it's just going to give all the information here and it's not going to even worry about your website. It'll just steal information from you, put the information here, and not even cite you or anything. But if you look over here, it does cite websites. It gets information from websites. And right now, sometimes it's taking information from what it gathered originally when it was putting together in its large language module and kind of figuring out how to teach itself. Other times it does a web search right on the spot. So I think it's doing web searches here. And if we look, it was, we're going to want to be on these links. We're going to want to be mentioned on these things, and there's a number of links. Some of them change, some of them don't. But I'm going to want to show up in those things. So once again, generative engine optimization is going to be pretty important in GEO. Here's something else that really made me think that we have to change the way we do things to be found as brands, to make sure our product's mentioned, make sure that we are coming up in the AI responses. So here's what I did. I said, I'm looking for a noise-canceling headphones for under $300. So it gave me some. That was a lot like a search engine. Just gave me some top choices. But then I said, what made you list the techniques one first? And it gave me some reasons why. It said these things were the reasons why. And then I said, okay, was your decision based mostly on the list of features that the manufacturer listed? Or was it based on something that made you think you could trust them? And then it said, well, yeah, it was based on their features, but also it was based on, whether I could trust them. However, the trustworthiness of the brand, the source also played a role in the recommendation. Here's a breakdown. So it said feature-based evaluation, number one, trustworthiness of the brand, number two, and then balancing features and trust. Okay, then I said, can you give me a breakdown? So yeah, here's a breakdown by percentage of how I made the decision. It said 60% of weighting factor went into features and specifications, 20% went to price to value ratio, and 10% went to brand reputation, and 10% went to credibility of the source. I didn't add that up, but yeah, it looks like it's 100%. And that made me think we can probably figure out how it decides, and we could probably affect that. And if we can, then we probably should figure out how to do that. Makes sense, doesn't it? Let's summarize. I've learned some important things. One, significantly more people are going to search using AI in the coming months and years. Two, AI results in quick but complete recommendations or answers to questions rather than search engines, which have links to many web pages. Three, search engines are sure that people will want AI to do their searching. They're so sure that they're starting to include AI overviews on the top of their SERPs. 4, generative engines can be affected or influenced by people who understand how they work. That's a big if, but I'm pretty sure that is the case, and we'll be presenting a lot of information on that. And 5, brands that lead out in generative engine optimization will have a significant advantage, a significant financial advantage over those who don't. Please like and subscribe if you want me to keep publishing more information on GEO. And some of my next or upcoming videos will be on how we do GEO and how it's different than SEO. Thank you.